What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and welcome to the new breakdown that we are going to go through with From Season 1, Episode 1. I've got to tell you, I'm super excited to go through this with you all because I've seen this show and I was blown away by it, and I was super late to the party, but you know what? I'm glad that I'm here now. So just to kind of give you a heads up, what I'm going to be doing in this series is I'm going to break down the episodes. We're going to, recap everything. Listen, I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I'm not saying I got all the answers, but I'm going to go through the episode with you just like I did, or just like I wanted to do when I first went through this. And hopefully it'll answer some questions. Maybe it'll evoke some more questions. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. So if you're new here, let me just tell you right now, the first time you're watching this, look, it's an experience, okay? You are going through this. You don't know what's going on. And I'll just tell you this, even as someone who's seen the show already, I still don't know what's going on, okay? But that's all right. This is going to be part of the ride. It's part of the adventure, and I'm going to be here with you as you go through this, okay? So if you're new, just sit back, relax, go through these videos so that way you can experience this the way it's meant to be experienced, at least with someone else, right? But if you're a returning person, in other words, if you have already seen season 1 of From, I'm still going to tell you that this video series is something you need to watch. Why? Because the first time we all watched this whole series, you know what? We just went for the experience. We just wanted to know what was going on. We wanted to hear the story, and that was fine. We came at it from a certain angle. But when you watch this show again, you're going to watch it from a whole different perspective with a whole different lens, because now you're watching seeking answers. So that's again going to be something that I hope I'm going to be able to give to you guys. While I started doing my rewatch and I was going through and analyzing things and all that, I was coming across a bunch of stuff that I missed. I mean, there was so much stuff that I took for granted, that I ignored, that I didn't even know was important. And I hopefully caught enough of those things to help you all, whether you're new or if you're coming back. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of this mystery and actually solve this. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. We start off with Sheriff Boyd ringing the bell throughout town. Restaurants are closing and everyone in town is walking home. Before locking up, we see the townsfolk adjusting some sort of talisman hanging on their wall. As the sheriff ensures everyone is home safe, there's a sign posted saying that there's been 96 days without incident. Frank is passed out on the floor at the local bar. The bartender closes up shop, locks up, and fixes the talisman by the door. Frank's wife and daughter look out for him, but there's no sign of Frank's return. His daughter, Megan, prays before bed until she hears a knocking at the window. A strange old woman is outside of the bedroom window, and it sounds like her grandma, but it sure doesn't look like grandma.
She's not your grandma.
I'm so lonely.
Despite her mother pleading with Megan not to open the window, Megan decided to open the window anyway and realizes really quickly that wasn't her damn grandma. Woo! Now that is how you kick off a show. I don't know about y'all, but I was sitting there like, Megan, why'd you do that? Now, you know good and well that was not your grandma, and your mama told you not to open the window. And I'm sure being in this town, you should have known better at this point. But as I've been saying, if you've watched my channel, this is why I started the From Challenge. This challenge is basically all you got to do is watch them first 8 to 9 minutes. And you know what? If this show does not get you hooked at this point, you can leave it away and walk away. But that was all I needed to see. And I was hooked from that point on. And every person I've seen who has taken the From Challenge, matter of fact, you might be here watching this video because of the From Challenge. But if you've taken this challenge and you've made it past this 8-9 minute mark in the show, oh, you in for the whole ride now. It's done. It's over. You here now. And believe it or not, it's only going to get crazier after this. Now, if you're new and you're watching this, look, I don't know, you probably had a lot of the similar questions that I had when I was watching this for the first time. I mean, are the people in this town part of a cult? Like, why do they have this strange talisman with these odd markings? I mean, why is everyone closing things down in this town? Like, what is going on? And then, of course, the biggest question is, what the hell is up with these monster type people walking around, killing people? Like, it's too many questions, but you know what? Let's get back to the episode. Frank wakes up from his drunken stupor to find his family murdered. Boyd shows Frank the mutilated bodies of his wife and daughter. He tells the deputy to lock Frank up. Julie is telling her little brother Ethan a story in the RV. His mother assures him that monsters aren't real. Suddenly, the family comes across a fallen tree in the middle of the road. As they try to get back to the highway, they notice that they don't have any cell reception and they're also lost. They drive into a small town and notice some of the cars have flat tires. Earlier, the sheriff meets up with Donna and she reminds him of their agreement. He said that he just wanted to see his son Ellis. He gets around to meeting Ellis and the tensions are thick. The sheriff informed him that the death that happened earlier is going to be followed up with a service and he'd love for Ellis to come and pay his respects. Now, during the service, the townspeople notice the RV and they're kind of surprised at the new arrivals. The sheriff tells everyone to remember what it was like when they all first arrived and everybody ignored Jim. The sheriff gives him some directions to the highway to help him get back on his way. However, the more they drove, the more they noticed that they kept on ending back right in the town. Another car heads towards them and the RV swerves off the road. Everyone in the RV appears to be injured and Ethan especially has a large object going through his leg. The other driver in the other car gets out and informs Sheriff Boyd about the accident. In the back seat of the car, another person crawls out. The sheriff handcuffs him to the car and the townspeople come to the site of the accident to help everyone out. Sheriff Boyd wants Christy to help Ethan out by sewing his leg up. With only 40 minutes of daylight left, he pulls out the talisman. All right, now Donna did talk to Sheriff Boyd and talked about an agreement that they had. So we're going to get to that a little bit later in the series. So don't worry, that is going to be answered what that agreement actually is. Now we do go and we finally meet the Matthews family and we saw them driving around and around and around. And of course, you know, they get into the town and Boyd is like, yo, let them keep going. And we saw that Sarah basically was like, look, like that's kind of cruel and messed up to have them just keep going in this loop like that. But when you kind of think about what's going on, because I agreed with Sarah at first, like it is kind of bogus. Like, why would you keep sending them off? But when you think about the crazy stuff that's happening, right? And you think about like what happens at night in this town, it's actually not a bad idea to have people just drive around, because the thing is, you want them to get a taste of how the situation that they're in is extraordinary, right? You want them to realize like, look, this is not normal. This is not something that we're going to see as making any type of sense to keep driving. And then all of a sudden you're in this, you know, type of loop. Upon further evaluation, I'm thinking like, you know what? This is actually not a bad idea to warm people up to basically the weird stuff that's about to happen in this town. So this is actually a nice way to initiate them into the madness. Because think of the alternative. If somebody just stopped and was like, hey, you need to get out your car because like monsters coming out at night, you gonna ignore them and think that they're crazy and keep on going. So I'm not mad at this tactic. All right, let's get back to the episode. Sarah is taking care of Toby. He wakes up to see her and wonders what happened. She kisses him and tells him it's not his fault. Then shanks him in the neck. It's getting dark. The sheriff has the talisman and starts to prep the RV to keep it safe. The townspeople start to drive back, but they mistakenly go over the tire spikes that they laid out earlier on the road. As night falls and Jim and Christy try to attend to Ethan's injury, the sheriff can see the weird, creepy powder people slowly surrounding the RV. Oh my God. Okay, like what the hell is wrong with Sarah? Like Sarah's clearly nuts. She just sat here and like stabbed Toby as if it was nothing. This is not like none of this makes sense, right? And I mean, she had to like stab him in the mouth. Like, golly, that was just gruesome. Now, one thing to also think about, Ethan started having a seizure right when the creepy monster people started to walk out. Coincidence? I don't know. Anyway, that was it for episode 1. Like I said, I thought this was a great start to this season, just to really get you interested, to get you hooked. So I am definitely down for that. Now, there are a couple clues. Now, this is the part of the series where I'm going to say There are certain clues in here that I want you to just think about, let it marinate, and maybe take these clues later into the series. So these are some key things that I want you to remember. These are the clues, right? Now, the first clue that we have is we have the radio that just so happened to start playing on its own by itself. Why? No one knows. But the radio playing on its own, that is a big clue, I think. Again, we're going to have to figure out how it fits into all of this, but it is something we need to pay attention to. Second thing I want you to think about, when Toby and Jade were coming into town, right? His car was swerving. He wasn't just running a straight line. He was swerving. Was Toby intoxicated? Was he under the influence? What was up with Toby's car that he was like swerving like that caused him to also, run the RV off road? I do think that there are some answers to everything if we can maybe figure out what was going on with Toby as, what brought him in. Did he see the fallen tree too? Who knows? I don't know. Right? But that is something I think we do need to pay attention to. Third clue. Why does everybody have a talisman in their house? What do these talismans do? What is the point of them? Obviously, that is going to be an ongoing thing that we need to keep in mind as well. Another clue to think about. Whatever these monsters are, apparently they only eat the insides of people, and that's it. They leave the bones and everything else. So why is that? What's so interesting about the inside of people and not the rest of their bodies? Again, something to keep in mind. And then last but not least, we have the fallen tree. The fallen tree, and then all of a sudden there are these crows, and even in the show, they told you, what are the flock of crows called? They're called a murder. So what does this mean? Is there some type of symbolism going on? Who knows? But again, this is going to have to be something that we have to keep in mind moving forward. Now, as for the rating of this first episode, I think I'm going to give it, on a scale from 1 to 10, I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. There was a very, very good level of suspense and drama going on. It's got my interest. I'm intrigued. This is a great way to start off an episode. So for me, that 8 out of 10, I think fits for me and my rating. But I'm more curious as to what you will rate this on a scale from 1 to 10. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Well, again, that is all we have for today's episode. If you're new to this series and you're just watching this for the first time, please let me know, what did you think about episode 1? What comments, thoughts, theories, ideas do you have? Please leave them in the comments down below. Now, if you are someone who has already watched, I would ask, please try not to spoil it for the new folks. Let's not talk about what happens in the end, or whatever, because there are some people that are watching this for the first time. So let's just keep any spoilers only contained up to whatever episode that we're on. So, if we're on episode 1, let's only talk about episode 1 and so on. But don't worry, we have so much more. I have more videos coming up. We will be going through all of the episodes. And then, of course, once you're done with season 1, I also got season 2 coming up as well. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I thank you so much for your time. I'll see y'all later.